I guess by now you have created some tables using create query. Now I will show you using wizard to create table. So click on table, go to create and click on table. It opens table detail and try to save it. Control S, Control plus S. Click on Control plus S. It asks you to give name of the table, salary, and right click on design view. You can create a field names of the table here. Maybe salary ID, and it is number. Next, employee ID for whom you're paying the salary. All right. Next, employee ID, employer ID. Now salary. Now, if you see this table consists of salary ID, employee ID, employer ID, and salary. So it means that this ID recognizes details about the employee. If you use this ID, that ID means employee ID means it means this salary is related to some XYZ person. Similarly, we are taking employer ID. Employer ID in the sense the organization that providing employment to the person. So using these two things, you can connect data. Like means you will be connecting different. As I told you in the PPT, you will be connecting details. All right. So like this, employee, employer, and salary. You're establishing relationship between employee entity, employer entity, and the salary details. All right. So I'm saving this one. Now I can enter details related to it. Let me create another table, that is employer. Again, select employer, right click on design view, enter employer ID. This is number, and this is uniquely identifies employer details. Employer name, text, and employer location, short text. Okay, so now we have proper details related to the salary, employer, and employee. All right. Now let me include few details related to the employer. 1001, employer name Wipro, and employer location Hyderabad. Right. 1002, TCS Hyderabad. 1003, TCS Bangalore. 1004, Bangalore. Now we have details of employees and employer, and we also have salary table. This should contain details from these tables. So let me select salary ID. Let us define salary ID as 10, maybe 2001, something like this. Employee ID maybe 12. Employee table, employee ID 1401, employer ID 1001. If he is working in Wipro. Salary, if you say 40,000 maybe. So this is how we create. We create records that are properly allocated. All right, and there exists a relationship between salary table because salary table contains employee details. Got it. So salary table contain a foreign key, employee ID. So we call it foreign key because employer ID is primary key in employee table. When we are using that reference, means this index value in another table, we call it foreign key. Okay, this is primary key in employee table. I will make it primary key. I'm making it primary key. Okay, we can make it by selecting the column and clicking on right click and select primary key. If you do that, it automatically becomes primary key. So when this becomes primary key, you cannot enter same value again. Means same primary key cannot be used. If you use primary key, some XYZ, some age, ignore. When you as you are trying to save it, it is saying that duplicate values in the index primary key. So this cannot be created. All right. So I'm removing it. Employee table already contains, as I have used the table format, it already contains the primary key, employee ID, salary table. It also contains a primary key by name salary ID. So now let us create a relationship. I hope you understood that what I mean by primary key. Primary key is the value that uniquely identifies all the other details in a data table. So here employee ID, employer ID uniquely identifies all the details related to the employer by name Wipro. Alright. Now we have another table by employee name. So employee table which contains employee ID, which is a primary key, and this value identifies details about B and Rao. Alright. Now, as I told you, there exists a proper relationship between these. We should create a proper relationship between these three tables. So I will use database tools to create relationships. So I am selecting all, Control A or Shift or Control, press select Control and select all the tables and click add, close. Now we have three different tables. By using details from these tables, it is understood that this salary employee ID should be mentioned. The details at this employer ID will be used in salary table employee ID, and EMP table employee ID will be used as employer ID in salary table. So let us start creating relationship. Okay, this is employer table and this is salary table. In employer table employee ID and in salary table employee ID, we create referential integrator. Okay, I am supposed to close these tables. When tables are open, we cannot perform operations. Yeah, I'm supposed to close this one. But now let me try it. Enforce referential integrity. It is done. And now I'm trying to use it on employer ID. EMP table employee ID will be used in salary table employee ID. I can select this one and delete it. The main problem is employer is here, employee here. I got confused. So now employee to employee ID. I'm done. Select referential integrity. So we have same data type related issue. I guess some data type related issue. Design view salary. This is number and EMP table. Design view. This is number. What is the issue again? I don't understand. Relationship must be on same number of fields with the same data types. Ma. Do one thing. So delete, select all the columns and all the rows and right click delete records, delete complete information from the all the tables. Then drag and drop all the values. See, when relationship is properly established, this kind of one to many relationships will be created. If these values are not shown, it means that you didn't establish a relationship between tables. Now I removed the table and created a new one and deleted all the data from the tables. Then I created this relationship. Before entering data, the relationship should be established in this way. After creating table, we need to create a relationship diagram. It means that an employee can receive number of various types of salaries. Okay, monthly he can receive many salaries. So each salary will have salary ID and simply we can read this one by seeing the design. Employee can get many salaries. A salary will belong to one employee. From here it is many salaries. From here it belongs to one employee. In the same way, a salary belongs to one employee, and a salary can an employee can receive many salaries. So this design explains that the relationship should be 99%. The relationship will be one to many relationship. If it is not one to many, it means that the data is not in normal form. Okay, third normal form. So however, we have some information, basic information here. Now let us start entering data into the tables. 1401 BN Rao, 1402 1501 1503 something like this. And now I say this information. I have this information I already created. Now let us try to write 1221 1221 some values that are not in the table. Now see, it is saying you cannot change a record because related record is required to be in the given table. Means if you don't enter values in the available tables, because we established a relationship, right? this table should contain these values. The values that are entered for employee ID and employer ID should be existing in these two tables. If those values are not existing in these tables, it cannot create a record in salary. So that is the error we got. So let us start entering. Maybe 1 lakh 10,001 is the number. Employee ID is 1401. Employer ID is 1001. Salary maybe 5 lakhs. Now it created. Again, let me try 1 lakh on 10,002, and if I enter 67 some value which is not in the selected table, it definitely creates error again. So this is what it is showing. Employer ID is not existing. So let me take this one 1402, and I will make this. So it is saying that employer table do not contain the record that is entered by us. So in this way, data will be protected from entering unauthorized, unexpected data, and consistency of the data will be maintained because of the relationships that are established between various tables. Got it? So this is all about creating relationships between tables. There are thumb rules, like when you create a relationship, it is very important to check, enforce referential integrity. That is number one. And when relationship is created, it should contain one is to many type of relationship. Otherwise, your relationship is not, your relationship diagram, ERD diagram, is incorrect. Then appropriate column should be, the relationship should be established between appropriate columns. Means if you are using employer table employee ID, then in the target table there should be a column by name employer ID. Alright, so you can establish relationship between two common things. So we need to create that details on selected table. Alright, now the database restricts user to enter the values that he can. For example, regarding the primary key, if you want to enter 1503 again, it won't allow, because the primary key cannot have duplicates. In the similar way, the differential integrity should be containing values from the data that is existing in the table. If data is not existing in the referencing table, then error will be generated. So this is how database restricts users from including wrong data onto the databases. Okay, hope you understood. I will start with another activity. In the next video, we learn about using some queries to access information from multiple tables.